Today's collectible spot, we are having a look at the NECA Toys Batman Arkham City. This is the Harley Quinn 1/4 scale action figure. Spot's already had a look at the smaller, about 7-inch version of Harley Quinn. Now we're looking at a 1/4 scale action figure release of the Arkham City Harley Quinn. She comes with a bat, comes with interchangeable hands, also comes with a pair of firearms that you can have displayed in the figure's hands. Have to be honest though, just looking at the figure, and we haven't even opened the figure up yet, I think actually she does have a better face sculpt than the 7-inch version of her. Down below there's some artwork there of Harley Quinn holding her bat in hand. Side box art features Harley Quinn with the firearms in her hand. Leading then to the back of the box with a read-up, an Arkham Asylum psychiatrist assigned to treat the Joker, Dr. Harleen Frances Quinzel, instead became obsessively fixated on her patient, believing herself to be in love with him. She helped him escape confinement and took on her own criminal identity as Harley Quinn. Quinn is a violent and unpredictable felon whose only motivation is achieving the Joker's approval. Because of his cruel and mercurial nature, this in some ways makes her just another one of his victims, albeit a very dangerous one. Since the Joker's Titan overdose in Arkham Asylum, Harleen's mind has further deteriorated. She is blindly determined to put a smile back on his face. Figure includes 4 interchangeable hands, 2 machine guns, and baseball bat. That's your box. Spot's going to take a break now and take Harley Quinn completely out of packaging. When we come back, though, we're going to get a better look at the NECA Toys Batman Arkham City Harley Quinn 1/4 scale action figure. There's more coming your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. The accessories that come included with the 1/4 scale Harley Quinn. She comes with a pair of handheld machine guns. The magazine clips are not removable. In fact, it is only one sculpted piece. But the coloring, despite only being black, fits the profile of what these little bad boys would be like and can fit into her hand. Probably going to be not necessarily my go-to for accessories, as of course she also comes included with a bat as well, which we'll look at right now. The bat itself, much like the smaller 7-inch counterpart, looks pretty much identical. You've got this candy cane, almost barbershop spiral red and white running down, cascading down the bat itself, and a taped off lower portion to which she would be holding it. As you can see though, just by the size of the bat, you can kind of gauge how big this figure is going to be, as she is a whopping 1/4 scale in size. A couple of other things that Harley Quinn does come with is a pair of interchangeable hands. Currently, the hand that she's got, or hands for that matter that she has, one is for holding the bat, one is just kind of an open, grasping hand. These other hands are suited for holding the machine guns, which you can see even fit around the trigger itself of each of the guns. Which then brings us to the 1/4 scale Harley Quinn herself, which I have to admit is a gorgeous looking piece. Spot did pick up, if you watched the review of it. If you didn't get a chance, by all means go check that video out after we have a look here at the 1/4 scale Harley Quinn. But I like that small 7-inch Harley Quinn just by really the virtue of it being a smaller figure. The downside though to it is I didn't think it had really the greatest of faces. We're going to assume that that 7-inch version of Harley Quinn has been scaled up, or in a lot of cases, they make figures in larger scale and they simply scale them down for mass production. So the Harley Quinn, I didn't end up keeping that 7-inch Harley. I ended up selling it, so I can't really do a comparison between the two. But I thought the face wasn't as good, nearly as good as what the face is here on the 1/4 scale, which I think is quite impressive. Let's have a look at that now. Yes, one of the things I did mention with the 7-inch Harley Quinn was I just didn't like the face. I thought the face was really not badly or poorly sculpted, but I think maybe the paint is what killed that figure. Here we have the 1/4 scale Harley Quinn, of course, much bigger looking figure, but I really think the face here is just quite good. It's not as stark the white from what I remember. In fact, you can see there's almost a more slight layering of makeup that's been applied to her face, or maybe she's had it on for a period of time that it has now started to fade itself away. Couple that with some nice shading around her crystal blue eyes and some nice stark red in her lips. I also like the outlining, the little care to detail that NECA put in putting some outlining around the lip portion as well. The hair is done super good as well. Super impressed with that. It doesn't seem to be as restricted from what I remember as well from the 7-inch version. The 7-inch version, I feel like I was moving the hair aside, the face wasn't working, the makeup wasn't working. I think here, on the other hand, everything is coming together really well. You can see like all the transitioning from the flesh tone over into the white portion of the makeup. So again, it kind of looks like she had maybe applied it on and it's just over sweat and all the stuff that she's been doing. It just has slowly started coming off of her face. The pigtails here are individually posable as well, so you can move the pigtails any which way that you want. Nice ball joints going on there. And they've been dipped in the same way as the other Arkham City Harley, dipped in red, or kind of an off red here, and the black. Spin the figure around. There's what the back of the figure looks like. Some nice sculpting there in the hair portion, as well as the pigtails, going back to the pigtails, going back to the pigtails. I think the pigtails really, again, quite good. It might be very well one of my favorite Harley Quinn sculpts. It goes to show, Spot initially is not a big fan, as you know, probably watching enough on these videos on this channel. I'm not a big fan of quarter scale. They're just simply too big of figures, a little too cumbersome. But I got to admit, this Harley Quinn could beat not only the DC Collectibles version of Harley, the Mattel version of Harley, and even NECA's own 7-inch release of Harley. This might be the best figure. I might even say the Play Arts Kai release of Harley as well. This is the best Arkham City Harley Quinn that I've gotten in hand. Of course, we spend so much time looking at the face, there's nothing really to take, well, there's a lot still to take away from the body itself. Like, as the costume is just gorgeous here on Harley. Multiple layers incorporating the bodice here with the belted straps wrapping around the back portion of the figure, and a little harness straps there at the back there as well. The coloring is probably like closer to a burgundy, almost a dirty burgundy color mixed with black. And then underneath she's got a little, she's got her bra there as well. Again, the offsetting of the black to that burgundy color, which then offs itself, alternating itself from the sleeves, the one side being the black, the one side being the burgundy. Some nice bracelets that they've sculpted in there as well. All sculpted into her arm, so you can't move them or anything like that. There is the one open hand that I was talking about. As you can see, it's not really intended for anything. It looked like it could possibly hold like a cell phone or something like that, but my guess is just kind of like a more dynamic display purpose hand. Some nice tattooing there down on her lower midriff area around her belly button there. There's a Joker card, and actually also carries over quite nicely here to the tattooing around her arm. Let's see if I can, we'll zoom in. There we go. Let's see if we can get into, there we go. She's got the Joker card. Very nicely sculpted here. Some dice, some black roses, some red roses, and then there's also a Queen Harley card. Now this is stuff that you don't normally get to see when the figures are smaller. The details are there, but they're not as predominant because, of course, you can't quite make them out. The alternating leggings with the black, again, the burgundy, the black, and then the offsetting Harley Quinn diamond shapes there as well. Her knee-high boots. Nice flat soles. Not really to a credit of NECA, but really just to the design of Harley Quinn, so she stands nice and flat. She's not tipping over. In fact, for a quarter scale figure, she's one of the better standing figures I've had in my collection. As you can see, she's standing perfectly fine on her own. Some nice additional detailing here with her belt. And she's got a little chain as well. A real chain is nicely appreciated there that runs from the one portion of her belt to the other. There's the back sculpt of her. Yes, indeed, a fine looking Harley Quinn. as you can see though, I mean, she stands perfectly fine. These flat feet, the flat boots that they've given her, no issues whatsoever standing. Now again, I haven't added the baseball bat to her yet, but still, that being said, she's doing a fine job of standing. She doesn't have, well, she has peg holes on the undersides of her feet. Getting a display stand, of course, that size might be a little bit more problematic, but no, I don't seem to have any issues whatsoever getting her to stand. Now, when it comes to her posability, let's go through that together. Her head is on a ball joint. It moves a little on the stiff side, but still moves fairly well. You can kind of angle it nice. You know what? What could have also given this figure just a little extra oomph, if I could nitpick just a small, if I could find one negative to this figure, I wish that maybe she had just incorporated a little bit of a smile, a little bit of a smirk maybe in the lip portion of it. That is the only thing, honestly, I would change about this figure. Ball joint, like we've already touched base on her pigtails. So you can, you know, pose her pigtails forward, back, whatever which way you want. The arms hinge out, a forward and back motion on her arms. She has a bend at the forearm, a rotation also there in that forearm hinge. She has also a rotation. There we go, rotation all the way on her hands. Her hands are just on ball joints, so they move quite freely, quite easily. She has an upper torso ball joint, and essentially the ball joint runs right underneath her bodice. So when you move it, it's concealed rather nicely by the bodice just hiding over the ball joint that's hiding deep inside there. Legs are a little on the limited side. That's about the, I guess that's the only other thing I would say, but not limited in the sense, because really expectation-wise, you're not really going to be displaying her in any dramatic posing. I mean, you can ratchet her legs out, but you can't really move them forward and back. They're really restricted by the fact that the lower waist portion kind of really cups over top of the thigh. It really limits and almost just alleviates all sort of posability from a forward and back perspective. You get the ratcheted out, but that's really about it. Then she has a double hinge in the knee, which is nicely, I appreciate that quite a bit. Also, her lower legs can rotate right actually where the thigh-high boots are attached. And then she does also have a hinge up and down on the ankle, and as well, she has that ankle pivot. Not really that you're going to get a lot of ankle pivot gestures or posing from her, but you know, every little bit does certainly help. Boy, Spot really loves this figure. Final last looks on Harley Quinn here. I've got her posed with the baseball bat. Now, actually, I can get the baseball bat behind her back, not quite on her shoulders. I can't get enough of the bend on the elbow. Like if the elbow was more of a double hinge, it might be able to sit a little flush to the shoulder area here. It also involves just a little bit of a tweaking to her wrist, almost to the point that the hand is going to pop out of the socket. But I can get it actually on kind of in a pretty cool kind of Louisville Slugger pose. And I've got the hand just kind of running to the side of her leg here. That's probably going to be how I'm going to display this figure. And yes, indeed, Spot will be displaying this figure. You know, it's funny that over the countless reviews that we've looked at on this channel, the quarter scale figures, the whole time Spot's really been dismissing the line. And truthfully, the only real reason I dismissed quarter scale figures is just simply due to the size. I can't always accommodate a figure this big, putting it out on display. For example, we just recently looked at on this channel the Ghost Predator. I just happen to have Ghost Predator here just sitting next to me. You can see how much bigger Harley is to Ghost. This fits very easily on a shelf. I can fit a whole ton of these on a shelf, but unless you have like a bookcase, I just can't fit this on a bookcase. It would almost work better on a floating shelf. But I am going to definitely put her on display. She is one of my favorite, I might even say the favorite quarter scale figure that we've looked at on this channel. It's almost enough that I would consider picking up additional quarter scale figures like the Catwoman and even some of the ones that we haven't looked at on this channel, like the Batman Returns Penguin as well. If you haven't had a chance to kind of delve into the territory of quarter scale NECA figures, of course the Turtle ones were also good examples that I'd like to look at eventually on this channel as well. I think Harley Quinn is a good, strong sell for me. She does things that the 7-inch figure honestly disappointed me with. A poor face, poor paint job. Quarter scale Harley, on the other hand, that does everything right. A little bit of a smirk is about the only thing I would change to this figure, but overall, I'm pleasantly happy with how this figure turned out. Today's collectible spot, we were having a look at the NECA toys. This was the Batman Arkham City quarter scale Harley Quinn. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more collectible spots heading your way. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.